saying that the best thing Chief Keef could have done was distance himself from OBlock and get out of Chicago.
The moment
Bro did a song with Lil Tim. Hey, y'all, shut y'all ain't gonna do stuff, man.
that right there, that's Lil Tim, the man accused of killing King Von, jumping online and calling out OBlock like he's begging for smoke. Right after Chief Keef linked up with NBA YoungBoy, the block lost one of their own again in spirit. And now the same shooter is on camera openly clowning them.
Lil Tim responded to people being mad at Chief Keef and NBA YoungBoy just announcing a new collab dropping soon. This is something to talk about.
So what did OBlock do? Nothing. Absolute silence. And that quiet had the internet on edge. Folks started wondering if Tim just set himself up. Here's how everything unraveled. Sosa, teaming up with the opposition, sent the whole block into meltdown mode. February 13th, 2026 felt like any other day in rap. Timelines were full of GOAT debates and random hot takes. Then boom, the energy shifted. A record dropped that flipped everything upside down. The song was Rooms, produced by Mike Will Made It, and the feature list shocked everybody. NBA YoungBoy and Chief Keef on the same track? Nobody saw that coming. To see why people had a saying that the best thing Chief could have done was distance himself from OBlock and get out of Chicago. The second studio footage surfaced of them vibing like day one homies, social media went crazy. Not a mild reaction, pure chaos. Blogs rushed to post within minutes. Anyone who knows the history understood this wasn't just a random collab. Those two names carry weight. Behind the music, years of tension, fallen friends, unfinished business. Seeing them side by side didn't look innocent. To many, it screamed betrayal, and the block took it personal. To really get the reaction, you have to know who's involved. Chief Keef, born Keith Farrell Cozart on August 15, 1995, is widely seen as a pioneer of drill music.
Part of the volley, I get shot on my right hip bone and I get shot on my ass. I go in and out though.
He grew up in Parkway Gardens on Chicago's South Side, later renamed OBlock. After O.D. Perry's death in 2011, he poured himself into rap, starting young with his mom's karaoke machine and turning childhood bars into something serious. By 2011, while on house arrest for a gun charge, he began uploading gritty freestyles to YouTube. Those clips didn't just rack up views, they sparked a global drill movement. Dark beats, heavy 808s, raw auto-tune, and unfiltered stories about Chicago's streets defined the era. By 2012, Keef was red hot. His mixtape Back from the Dead and anthem I Don't Like blew up, especially after Kanye West jumped on the remix with Pusha T, Jadakiss, and Big Sean. That buzz pushed him onto the Billboard Hot 100 and landed him a multi-million-dollar deal with Interscope Records, plus the launch of Glory Boys Entertainment. His debut album, Finally Rich, featured 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa. When Love Sosa exploded, it went multi-platinum and locked in his drill legacy. What people forget? He was still a teenager juggling fame and real-life pressure. Eventually, his team moved him out of Chicago for safety. Still in his mid-teens, he relocated to a suburban home in Northfield. That move changed everything, and from there, he rarely looked back.
Loyalty for me is strong though. Loyalty to me is for everybody that is fucking with. So.
Now on the other side of this collab sits NBA YoungBoy, born Kentrell Deshaun Gaulden, raised in Baton Rouge and one of the most streamed rappers on the planet, no cap. Normally, a link-up this big would be a huge W for the culture, but this one, a powder keg waiting to spark. YoungBoy has been in a long, messy feud with Lil Durk and OTF. We're talking diss tracks, subliminals, and ties to real street tension. This isn't just rap beef, it's personal. YoungBoy has dissed the late King Von multiple times, and Von wasn't just anybody, he was OBlock royalty. After Keef left, Von carried the torch. So in OBlock's eyes, YoungBoy isn't just competition, he's the op, period. And that viral clip? That's Lil Tim, the man tied to Von's death, casually recounting the night everything changed. We'll get there soon, but understand the optics. A former OBlock's face making music with the rival of the man who died repping their name. That's why the internet erupted. The numbers backed it up. Rooms pulled 1.3 million YouTube views in 4 days, 1.2 million TikTok plays, and over 304,000 first-day Spotify streams.
You shoot 4 times.
Yeah, the gun jammed.
Oh, the gun jammed.
Yeah.
Mike Will made it, produced it for his upcoming album R3 Reset, dropping March 20th, 2026. The production? Straight heat. YoungBoy handled the hook with that signature auto-tuned intensity, and Sosa slid in with a cold verse about survival, money, and standing firm against enemies. Classic Keef. But the Block? They weren't rocking with it. OBlock and OTF affiliates called the move snake behavior, accusing Sosa switching sides for a check. One affiliate claimed OBlock would shine without him. Others went further, saying Keef was permanently banned from stepping foot back on the block, which is wild considering he hasn't been back in years. Still, the emotion was real. To them, it wasn't about distance, it was about loyalty. They felt the collab disrespected King Von's memory, like Sosa was co-signing everything YoungBoy and his camp had said since 2020. In the streets, intentions don't matter. Perception does, and Rooms felt like a slap in the face. This goes deeper than music. It's about who stayed solid and who switched up. Over a decade of tension, money issues, broken bonds, and resentment bubbling back up. Some felt like the man who put them on the map blew up and left without looking back. To understand why OBlock reacted so strongly, you've got to rewind. The fallout didn't start here, it started years ago, with shootings, disagreements, and bloodshed that never fully healed.
Time I done got shot.
Are you more calm about it this time since you've gone through it before?
Yeah, cause like the first time I got shot, I didn't even have a panic attack.
Because let's be clear, this tension didn't begin with Rooms. It didn't even start with YoungBoy. This was old smoke, years of friction reignited in front of the world. When Sosa started making serious money, things shifted. One of his closest friends, Lil Durk, born Durk Banks in 1992 from Inglewood's 300 block, began moving differently. Both repped Black Disciples and came up together. Back then, they were tight, surviving the same chaos. Durk once credited Keef for putting Chicago on the map during Drill's rise. But by 2013, rumors spread that Durk caught a gun charge and needed around $10,000 for bail, and allegedly Keef didn't help. Word also circulated that Trey 5 from OBlock needed about $25K for bond and didn't get it either. For those still on the block risking it all, that stung. They felt abandoned. In the streets, loyalty is everything. And to them, it was broken.
Man, bro, did a song with Lil Tim. Hey, y'all, shut y'all shit. They ain't gonna do shit that niggas up, man.
Then it got uglier. Boss Top allegedly hit a lick at Keef's crib. Reports even claimed King Von himself took guns from Keef. After that, Sosa checked out emotionally. No more peacekeeping, no more investing in OBlock talent. The bond shattered. His exit came in stages. First, the suburban move at 16. Then in 2014, tragedy struck when his cousin Blood Money was killed. That loss hit hard. Keef later said it forced him to think long-term, to imagine life beyond constant gunfire. By 2015, after 20 officers reportedly swarmed him over a popped motorcycle tire, rifles drawn, he decided enough was enough. He relocated to Los Angeles permanently, later calling it a reset for his music and mindset. In LA, he rebuilt, became a father of 9, went independent after Interscope dropped him, got into art collecting, launched 43B through BMG and RBC in 2022. By 2024, Almighty So 2 showed real growth, no label pressure, just evolution. Other partner was there, like I got loyalty for him. I got loyalty for my other partner, like that's just how I am. Through it all, one thing stayed consistent. He never returned to Chicago. Not for shows, not for visits. The legal risks and old beef weren't worth it. But to those still on the block, still losing friends and fighting cases, his silence felt like abandonment. That resentment simmered for years, and when rooms dropped, it finally boiled over. But the moment that turned quiet bitterness into something deeper happened on November 6, 2020, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge.
Sirens wailed. Blue lights flooded the scene. Von's people rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late. The heartbeat of OBlock was gone. Lil Tim was hit too, one bullet to the hip, another to his lower body. The next morning, still in a hospital bed, he was charged with felony murder. 22 years old, wounded, and suddenly staring at life behind bars. In March 2021, he posted a $100,000 bond, but that wasn't freedom, it was limbo. For over 2 years, he waited under that shadow. The streets were watching. OBlock was furious. Von's death had moved beyond music. It was personal. Then, in August 2023, everything flipped again. Fulton County prosecutors dropped every charge before a grand jury could even indict. Just like that, the case disappeared. To OBlock, it felt like justice was ripped away. Georgia's Stand Your Ground law changed the outcome. Surveillance footage showed Von throwing the first punch. Legally, prosecutors ruled Tim acted in defense of his friend, self-defense. His attorney, Noah Pines, made it clear the case was dismissed before indictment. No trial, no conviction. Done. But for OBlock, it didn't feel done. The man they blamed walked free. No prison time, no closure. And Tim didn't fade into the background either. He went public. Diss tracks, provocative videos, linking up with Charleston White, who openly called Von a demon and praised Tim's actions on camera. That was salt in a fresh wound. Month after month, the tension simmered. Then, 3 days after Rooms dropped, Tim made his boldest move yet. February 16, 2026. DJ Academics posted a clip that went viral almost instantly. In it, Lil Tim, untouched by the feds, stared straight into the camera and called out OBlock and OTF directly. No coded bars, no slick wordplay, just blunt disrespect. He dismissed their grief, mocked their anger, said all the online tough talk didn't scare anyone. In any hood, those are fighting words. He looked into the lens and said, "They ain't gonna do nothing. Get up, man." Cold delivery, no emotion. Then he dropped 3 words that hit harder than a diss record. Get some money. On the surface, it sounded like a flex, but it was deeper, surgical, a direct shot at OTF's biggest vulnerability at that moment. Because by then, Lil Durk, OTF's leader and OBlock's backbone after Sosa, was locked up. Federal agents arrested him near Miami in October 2024 on conspiracy to commit murder-for-hire charges. Prosecutors alleged Durk orchestrated a retaliatory hit targeting Quando Rondo over Von's death. But instead of Rondo, shooters allegedly killed his cousin, Lil Pab, at a Los Angeles gas station in August 2022. That mistake turned everything upside down. And it didn't stop with Durk. 5 others were indicted: Kevon London, Grant DeAndre, Deontra Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, and Asa Houston. Charges included conspiracy to commit murder for hire, firearms trafficking, and organized crime activity. Federal prosecutors painted OTF not as a record label, but as a criminal enterprise, presenting flight logs, wire transfers, and even company credit card records. Durk wasn't facing a slap on the wrist, he was staring at life. So when Tim said, "Get some money," it wasn't random, it was calculated. A public reminder that while their leader sat in federal custody, he was free. It turned their legal crisis into humiliation. The reaction? Immediate. OBlock affiliates lit up YouTube. Diss tracks started recording in real time. On X, timelines looked like digital battlegrounds. Fans split down the middle. One viral post summed it up. First, OBlock disowns Chief Keef. Now they're mad he's collaborating with the hottest rapper out. That comment stung because it wasn't wrong. You can't exile someone and still dictate who they work with. That's not loyalty.
A big chunk of the hip-hop community sided with Sosa. Comments poured in. It's business. Chief played it smart. That's why he's alive and free. Critics pointed out the irony. The same people shouting loyalty were tied to incidents where Keef's home was hit and his weapons taken. Yet years later, they still demanded allegiance. The contradiction was hard to ignore. Hot New Hip Hop and other outlets covered the situation from every angle. Despite the smoke online, no confirmed violence followed. For now, it remained digital warfare. Threats, subs, and diss tracks flying, but the emotion was heavy. This wasn't just about a song, it exposed the messy contradiction at the core of street loyalty in hip-hop. Chief Keef left OBlock nearly a decade ago. From Los Angeles, he watched his relationships fractured and tension grew. Out west, he built a new life. 9 kids, his own label, independence, peace. He did what many dream of, made it out, survived, and prospered. Now, because of one collaboration, the same people who pushed him away expected him to re-enter the storm he escaped. Meanwhile, Lil Tim talks about loyalty and standing on principles, but look at where those principles have led. Von gone, Durk locked up, 5 others facing federal time, ongoing investigations stacking up. The same code that's supposed to protect the block keeps feeding the same cycle. Loss, jail, retaliation, repeat. That's the uncomfortable truth sitting underneath all of this. What this has done is turned potential into tragedy. More funerals, more mugshots, more talent wasted before it even peaks. At the end of the day, the streets don't reward loyalty, they pressure it until it cracks. So whether you see Lil Tim as a villain who beat a murder charge, a soldier who protected Quando Rondo, or just someone talking too loud online, one thing is clear. This whole situation exposed a truth nobody wants to admit. The loyalty people are dying for is the same loyalty slowly destroying them, publicly, painfully, headline after headline. Now the game is at a crossroads. The lines between music, loyalty, and survival are completely blurred. What started as a simple collaboration between Chief Keef and NBA YoungBoy turned into a cultural earthquake. It shook the streets, the industry, and everyone caught in the middle.
Because, let's be honest, this was never just about a song. It was about legacy, ego, old wounds that never healed, about who gets to grow and who gets trapped in yesterday. Sosa didn't just drop a verse, he made a statement. After a decade of pressure, betrayal, and distance, he proved he can still shift the culture with one move. And that rattled people, especially those whose reputations were built on the foundation he laid. Meanwhile, OBlock's pride took a hit they couldn't ignore. Watching the man who helped define their identity link up with their biggest rival felt like betrayal in surround sound. Every bar, every studio clip, every post felt like confirmation that whatever unity Chicago once had is long gone. But maybe that unity was never as solid as people believed. Maybe it was survival dressed up as loyalty. And then there's Lil Tim moving like he's untouchable, talking bold, stirring the pot on purpose. Every time he posts, the internet explodes and tension rises. At this point, it's not random trolling, it's strategy. Every diss, every clip, every comment keeps his name circulating and the drama alive. And here's the wild part, it works. In today's digital era, attention can hit harder than anything else. But underneath all the chaos, one question keeps echoing. Where does loyalty actually end? When does protecting your peace matter more than protecting your block? For every artist who makes it out, there's always someone ready to drag them back, accusing them of forgetting where they came from. Chief Keef's journey is the blueprint, from the projects to platinum, from chaos to independence, and somehow he's still treated like he owes something. Maybe what he really owes is proof that you can evolve without apologizing for it, that you can protect your future without disrespecting your past. Right now, the internet is on fire. Blogs are spinning narratives. Rappers are picking sides. Some label Sosa a sellout. Others call him a mastermind. But one thing is undeniable. Rooms didn't just trend. It shattered the illusion that old beefs stay buried. And if history tells us anything, this story isn't finished. The posts might fade, the hype might cool, but the tension between loyalty, legacy, and survival, that's not disappearing anytime soon. In this world, every move sends a message. Every collab makes a statement. Every silence speaks loud. Whether you see it as growth or betrayal, peace or provocation, one truth stands tall. The streets never forget. For Chief Keef, OBlock, and everyone tied to this saga, the next move won't just impact careers, it could shape the culture. Sosa's place in this story is locked in forever. The architect of drill, the kid who turned pain into platinum. Now he's part of a saga bigger than charts or streaming numbers. This is what happens when loyalty collides with self-preservation, when the hood clashes with the hustle, when grudges outlive their original reason.
The cracks this situation exposed between growth and obligation, love and survival, fame and fear, they're not sealing up anytime soon. Not with new music constantly stirring the pot, not with federal cases still active, not with the internet dissecting every lyric and live stream. Every new bar widens the gap. Every headline reopens wounds that never fully closed. In drill culture, the past doesn't fade. It waits, quietly, patiently, ready to resurface with the next beat drop. Sosa may have left physically, but OBlock's shadow follows him everywhere. In comment sections, think pieces, conspiracy threads. Lil Durk's name still echoes through courtrooms. Lil Tim's moves still spark reactions like gasoline on fire. The sound may evolve, but the pain, pride, and paranoia, same story, different remix. And maybe that's the real heartbreak here. Success and survival treated like betrayal. Escaping the cycle, somehow framed as abandoning it. Chief Keef didn't just influence a genre, he redefined what making it out looks like. But for those still stuck in the cycle, every escape feels personal. Every win feels like a loss for someone else. So yeah, his role in all this is permanent. No matter how many years pass or how many hits drop, Chief Keef's name will always be tied to the birth, the rise, and the fracture of drill culture. The movement that shook the world and then fractured under its own weight. And one thing is certain, this story isn't over, not even close. The streets are watching, fans are debating, the tension still hums from Chicago to Baton Rouge to LA. Thank you for tapping in. If you rocked with this breakdown and want more deep dives like this, hit like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts below. Whose side are you on? Who moved smart and who got lost in the chaos? The next chapter is already unfolding. Don't blink.